Welcome back, everybody, to HGC China, and it's starting to get a little heated in here because this next game, this next best of two is going to be hot, with SPT facing off CE, fighting for basically what could be the next China champion. If SPT wins 2 games 2-0 consecutively and CE loses twice in a row, I think SPT might have done it, right?
If SPT win 2-0, then they will be 1 point behind CE, which means it will all come down to the games. If CE win a single map, they will be 4 points ahead of SPT, making it impossible for SPT to catch them, meaning that either in first or second seed, depending on the playoffs, CE will be going to the mid-season brawl.
Yeah, and for those of you who might hear some weird noises right now in the background, that is, of course, a little bit of construction going on at my apartment. There's painters apparently appearing out of nowhere, a band of painters, and they are just setting up all the ladders. So once that is done, I'm also going to try to mute myself whenever I'm not talking, so you guys won't get bothered. But just in case, don't worry, everything is fine here. I won't get assaulted by anyone or anything. It's just harmless, happy little painters outside. For now, though, it looks like Q is favoring CE with a 2-0 here, and no, Nostally on the right-hand side, he's leaning towards a 1-1. Now, Tetcher, it is our time to look super smart in camera and to sound really smart as well. What is your take? What is your predicted outcome?
2-0 CE. Before you give yours, I now can't get the mental image of just a load of Bob Rosses in painter's outfits outside your house, just repainting with a thick brush. Just like, now you gotta put a little white on it because it needs to reflect the light and look clean.
A little bit of Van Dyke Brown. All right. But yeah, what is your prediction between SPT and CE?
2-0 to CE. I think SPT are in one of the biggest ups I've ever seen them in, and I think CE are going to crush it.
Yeah, I would actually agree with that. I think it is CE's time to shine. They have never looked this consistent. They've never looked this strong, especially when it comes to, or when it came to facing their rivals, SPT. So I think they can do it. They did it once. They can do it again. Here we see a group of happy little Chinese pro gamers, known as CE, absolute lethal players, by the way, with Alufal leading the charge as the team's pro player. Then we have Wind on the main tank, 365 the support, KTY and Zuyu, the ranged and melee flexes, respectively. And Misaka seems to be the game's key player. Can he lead his team to victory? And this is a very cool player to highlight here in the first place, because not only is Misaka the team's tank player, Tetcher, but he's more than that.
He is the shot caller, and he is the drafter. He was missing from their team at the last mid-season brawl, where they seriously struggled and where the legend of Simba came from. But he is here in the studio in China, prepared to attempt to lead them to a victory and a revenge versus Challenge. But once again, this could be us in this matchup right now, finding out who the third team going to mid-season brawl will be alongside Fnatic and Dignitas.
Yeah, very true. First place is guaranteed participating at the mid-season brawl, and although CE is currently sitting on top here, the KDA is still favoring SPT, their rivals, because across all seasons, all phases combined, this had been the most dominating team that China has ever seen. 3-time China champions. That is their prestigious record. In CE, although they actually won the very first season that Tetra and I ever cast together, ever since then, they were just so close so many times, but weren't able to do so. Oh, yes, baby!
SPT taking us to Braxis. Usually it's CE who tries to bring out a cheeky win on this map, but SPT,
fireworks right off the get-go.
They brought out Braxis in one of their most recent weeks as well, and they attempted a Sylvanas cheese on it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves for impact, because we're taking a crashing trip to Braxis Holdout. Tell all your friends, get everyone in here, tell them that the best Chinese teams are facing each other in epic combat in Heroes of the Storm, and first map is going to be Braxis Holdout. Now, as Tetcher was hinting towards, both teams in their histories have played this battleground against quote-unquote weaker teams. They wanted to get these maps done quickly as possible, right? They fell back on heroes like Sylvanas. They tried to cheese their way through, but against teams that they face on equal footing, it shouldn't be that easy of a walk in the park, right?
Very true. This kind of draft does not work that normally, but it looks like SPT is starting off fairly normal. Although, once again, they did open with a Stukov last time. I just don't think there was a Maiev. As they bring out the Stukov and the Maiev, CE were very happy to give Wind his Garrosh. No arguments at all there.
Yeah, that's actually the cool thing, right? Both Wind and Misaka are considered to be the best warriors by far in the league, and they both share a pretty similar hero pool. They both love the Garrosh. They both are really good in that hero. So already trying to somehow cripple Misaka maybe in his engages is a thing to do. And it wouldn't even surprise me, Tetra, if CE went for a Diablo ban now.
That could be possible. Diablo would be pretty decent on this map, though. Potentially something like a Muradin, something that can control the point, might be a more reasonable ban. HGC even. Something very sustainy. So it looks like SPT are considering through a lot of CE's secret weapons. We saw the Tracer there, Falstad for global mobility. We saw Chromie. We know CE are very happy to bring that out on occasion.
Very true. Zuyu, that's the glorious thing about Zuyu. In all the previous seasons, he was the team's main ranged assassin, right? And every now and then, when CE feels like a one-tank composition is going to do them well, Zuyu falls back into these ranged assassins. Like Tetra said, the Chromie, mages in general have always been his forte. So, such an unpredictable roster for CE. And already, they're just making sure that they do not want to face any Tracers.
And here, the second ban, in this case for CE. What do they need to remove? Probably, like you said, a tank. I'm leaning towards Muradin or ETC, but Diablo, as you mentioned earlier, could still be a very suitable option for them.
I think you're actually onto something here. The Muradin could definitely be a great choice as well. For the most part, Misaka has played that hero very successfully and a lot in the past. And of course, Muradin in Brax's holdout, when he goes for the 4-man lane, he's very sustaining, right? He can always just, you know, get out of harm's way, stop fighting for a few seconds, and bring him back up to good shape. Yeah. And that is very dangerous.
Oh. They have now open tank options, and in terms of synergizing with Maiev, Diablo would be the best option, ETC second, Muradin third, but Muradin is potentially best for the actual objective fight. So it's very much what kind of... this tank pick, if they pick it now, will be a big show of the direction SPT are wanting to go with for the entire game.
All right. Keep in mind, guys, there's no Medivh. That was the hero that CE used in Game 1, in Round 1, when they faced SPT for the first time in 2018. And they shut their opponents down so efficiently with it. SPT was completely caught off guard. Stitches as well, by the way, was in that game to make trouble even more annoying. So now they need more damage, they need more range, and they need a tank. And they go for the Phoenix. The unknown weapons can be the deadliest here. How much experience did CE gather in scrims, in practice matches, from watching the other teams, especially KT? Can they deal with the Phoenix? That is, on the one hand, a great call by SPT because it could catch them off guard. On the other hand, Tetra, they may not have practiced it enough themselves.
The Phoenix Maiev combo, we know it is absolutely devastating if it is not controlled effectively, and they've left their tank pick open as well. Reactionary play now available on the side of SPT. CE, Varian is still available if they want to go for a second frontliner here. This would be decent focus on to the Phoenix, but it could be potentially risky. Everyone on the side of SPT right now is squishy and potentially blow-upable, so I wouldn't mind Varian and then a burst assassin like a Greymane.
The fact that CE banned Genji and SPT picked up Malthael, who is hands down one of the strongest, if not the strongest, soul laners, also causes a couple of issues. But here we go, Tetra. Thrall, he used to be one of the few heroes that can best a Malthael in the soul lane. If he goes for Echo of the Elements, if he goes for all that damage and poke, he can still do it, by the way. Although it's not as easy anymore as it used to be, because Malthael now has AoE damage, AoE attacks on his basic attacks, which gives him an easier time to heal up. It's still doable, especially when you have someone like Zuyu in that bottom lane. And here goes the Muradin, as we said, and the Zuyu as well. Things are all kind of crazy right now.
I think I'm going to finally have to ask us to do a refresh, because I just lagged and I'm up to 13, so I'm like 2 seconds behind you now.
Let's do it right now before the game starts, my man.
Boom. On it.
What are you sitting at right now?
I was on 13. Now I am on 6-7.
6-7. Let's see what I can do for you. We want to have...
Never mind Spinny Circle, so higher than that.
I'm sitting at the same spinning circle.
So let's see what Spinning Circles gets to. 9, 3, 7, 6, 1.
I'm sitting at 6.5, close to 7. If you could get there, that would be amazeballs.
I am on 8. I will try.
Okay. 7 seconds. And we're probably 7 seconds away from diving into this game as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the two teams once again.
6.9.
Share your excitement, not only just with us. You can tweet at us here, by the way, if you wanted to give us your own prediction of who you think is going to take the cake. If you think SPT is going to make it or CE is going to win, let us know at Kendrick's Wish, at Tetcher. But now, enough of talking. Let's get some action here with SPT represented by Molly on the Phoenix, Melody C on the Malthael, Misaka on Murden. Maiev is going to be played by Soap, and CZH on the Stukov.
And on the right-hand side, it is Challenge. Currently our number 1 seed with Luful playing the Chromie, Wind on Garrosh, 365 on the Malfurion, KTY on Junkrat, and Zuyu bringing out the Thrall. It has brought him great success recently, and he has gone for a solo laning talent, not going to be sending the Junkrat to the solo lane by the looks of it.
No Crash Lightning here. Already the first step to victory was taken successfully here, because you would be a fool if you went for Crash Lightning in the first place on Brax's Holdet in the solo lane. There is not really a lot of heroes to be stacked from. So Echo of Element, of course, in order to make this talent work, you're going to have to execute minions after them getting hit with Chain Lightning. You have a short time window. If you manage to successfully stand in the minion's vicinity, you're going to get 1 charge. Uh-oh, Zuyu. They're trying to set up a gank here. The stun connects. The Maiev chain is too strong. And all of a sudden, it is First Blood going over to SPT.
I think we've actually lagged up to the same time, because that was pretty in sync for me. I'm up to 8-2.
That looks good to me. I was like at 7-9 or something.
That'll do. Doesn't matter. I'll take it. As we see Luful holding the top lane for the moment. Junkrat also is hovering around the area. In fact, most heroes are hovering around the area, with just Garrosh soaking the bot lane for the moment. Finally, Thrall begins to make his way up back to the top lane, and this will allow 365 and Luful to begin their rotation to the bot lane. Misaka, though, doing Misaka things, being that big dwarf body to zone out the enemies.
Yeah, similar to Genji, by the way. Murden has a couple of cool options here to basically surprise enemies from an unseen, hidden angle. He can jump over those walls near the beacons and not only cut the rotation time needed, but also really approach the enemy lane without getting seen too much. So already that was used to great effect on the top lane. The first bullet was secured, but now the beacons are active, and now teams are going to have to play a lot more stale if they don't want to lose control over those beacons.
Lots of shots coming in from Luful, trying to ping Misaka, drop him low, and also prevent that recharge of that second wind. As Wind, a huge amount of damage is dropped. Lovely silence by Stukov, and that picks up First Blood.
On a Pale Horse Tetcher, that is a fast talent here. It makes Malthael one of the quickest heroes to rotate. Another tether coming in. Good concussion mine to safety here this time, though. No more kills, but SPT are already showing their opponents that they're not here to be trifled with. Now Thrall in trouble. Is he going to fight back? Misaka's already lurking in the shadows. Not really too much of an XP lead gained here, but still, those engages, those ganks are just too much for CE to handle, and SPT is bringing it.
Dukov's just picking up kill after kill. There's silences to set up for them. Maiev are giving full control of this game right now over to SPT. As CE pulling back as the first Zerg wave 100% to 0 in favor of Super Perfect Team.
Wow. And this is exactly the worst case scenario now for CE. Are their opponents going to snowball with this? Brax's Holdet oftentimes said to be one of the most snowballing and one-sided maps for a reason. Or can they hold? Wave clear is looking okay, to say the least. Oh, actually, the concussion mine almost had Molly over the wall, but of course, Phoenix has teleport spell. Could have probably gotten to safety here. But yeah, the wave clear is so-so, right? Junkrat a little bit of it, Chromie a little bit of it, but nothing like a Gul'dan, nothing like a KT to really keep the lane safe and sound. Misaka lands another Stormbolt. Are you kidding me? This guy's on fire right now.
365 staying alive though, drops a heal, but once again Stukov with the harassment, and 365 is oofed. He's out of mana. That's how much pressure is being dropped here. This is going to be the first fall of the game, and SPT are looking to snowball this hard.
Zuyu didn't even bother helping his allies in need. He's trying to get some value, some experience in the top lane. Needs to be careful though. They do not want to lose more than just a fort. Already an entire level behind for CE. Can they claw their way back inside? But once again, So excited to see a reinvigorated SPT. They didn't look pretty in round 1 when they faced CE for the first time. They actually were taken down so rapidly, so quickly. But this seems to be a newly invented team, at least today. They chose this battleground and they came in here with a strong battle plan, and they are making it work.
Yeah, it took them a long time, but it seems like they have returned as Echo of the Elements is fully stacked already.
True.
As we see CE moving in to at least try and control their own mercenary camp, but Misaka is having none of it. Wind's in trouble. The Silence Land,
yeah.
He could die. Silence Land, but they weren't able to land the slow.
Even had to use the Unstoppable here to not fall victim to any sneaky storm bolts. And Phoenix as well, by the way, doing so much work, going for a pretty well-rounded build with focusing on many different aspects. Most importantly, of course, here, the additional slow damage, or additional damage onto slow targets, thanks to the level 7.
Yeah, and the extra stutter step and micro damage on level 1. So, like I said, a bit of a lovely little mix. He's here to chase and to follow up on Stukov slows and Muradin slows from the Thunderclap. He has plenty of options here, as Molly moves up to potentially rejoin his team here. Not able to catch anything yet.
SPT, they're not letting go. They're here to show up and to basically make sure that CE is never going to get a single objective without a massive fight here. And during all of this, of course, Molly and his boys were doing the other Hellbat camp in the bottom lane. So both mercenaries are now kind of mirrored. Now Junkrat, of course, trying to soak it up a little bit more. And due to the stalling process, actually, CE was able to catch up a little bit. They were soaking during all of this, especially Junkrat getting loads of value. Now Thrall once again in a pinch, in a sticky situation. The cleanse comes through.
Next cleanse is good. Umbral Bind from Soap and a silence underneath it, but not enough for a kill this time. Win still not able to catch anyone though. In the meantime though, Junkrat is still soaking for his team here. So CE only about half a level behind. They're still holding themselves in this.
Which is really huge. And the fact that they didn't lose a single team member here, although they were in a 5 versus 4 disadvantage, is so huge. I cannot stress enough how important that was. Junkrat, as you said, not only able to soak, but also able to de-push the lane, because the Hellbats that were taken earlier by SPT had already been pushing quite handsomely here. And Junkrat, you could also see what he was doing. He was trying to freeze the lane so he would get as many minions as possible. Misaka taking a full Chromie combo.
More zaps from Thrall, continuing to pile on the pressure. He has fully stacked, so he's got the second charge there of his lightning. Good move here. Finally pick up a kill as Maiev is deleted.
Yeah, that was just a beautiful CC chain. Garrosh coming in, the root, the Feral Spirit from Thrall connected as well. I think there was even an Entangling Roots in there as well. So for the first time, CE stabilizing. They're basically wiping the sweat off their foreheads, and they realize, you know what? We're not to be trifled with. We have our own comps and strengths that we need to make work, and they did so quite handsomely. So, CE, can they keep up the momentum? Can they continue to do what they just did?
They hold top, at least for the moment. Junkrat has been kind of stuck in the bot lane in terms of clearing, but finally Zuyu is beginning to put some pressure onto the structures in this top lane. With the towers already down, he's looking for the fountain preferably, but is happy to just poke the enemy heroes as well.
All right. Absolutely balanced now in terms of experience. This time Maiev uses the vault, gets to safety. Thrall's in a lot of trouble.
Thrall gonna heal up though with his own Frostwolf resilience, but in the meantime, Molly is stealing away the capture point here. Junkrat is nowhere near bot lane. CE gonna have to move back onto this. They neutralize it, at least for the moment, but how willing are they to fight? It is a 4 versus 4 as Malphite has moved down to the bot lane. Slight delay, the Time Trap accidentally cancelling the synergy here. Win takes huge amounts of damage. He self-heals though, turns it round. The Umbral Bind trying to pull the minions in. They just dive him.
The Sundering!
Sundering onto Soap, but Chromie can't have the damage. His concussion bind onto Molly. The massive shove to push away. Huge silence from the Twilight Dream. As Soap barely makes it over the wall, but the kill's already been achieved onto the Phoenix. They look for Misaka, but Dwarf Toss too good.
That was a golden team fight for CE right here, right there. Every single heroic ability connecting flawlessly. The silence made sure that Phoenix couldn't use his teleport anymore. He couldn't even use any other abilities to protect himself. But now, here comes Malthael. Melody C hadn't participated in that fight, and they retaliate. They kill Garrosh like it was a piece of pork cake.
In the meantime, Junkrat moved down, and that was a disaster. They won the fight, and then Malfurion went back for health and mana. Junkrat went bot for the capture, and the immediate capitalization by Soap, moving in 4 versus 2 in that top lane. able to pick up the lovely kill, and now the percentages begin to tick up for SPT as they look for another kill. Timeout being used. It's a long time here, but is it enough?
It is enough indeed to save Alufal for now, waiting until the entangling roots were off. And now it is once again a lockdown on Zuyu. He's not trying to not get flung over by the map. Instead, he's actually bringing the pain, forcing out the massive shove as well. Alufal making it rain in the back line here with a lot of sand being tossed over to the opponents. But once again, SPT with superior skirmishing, with superior team fighting. They managed to get the second Zerg wave. Immediately a wave clearing Riptire, connecting.
On the full defense, Garrosh finishes stacking his Q. This will actually help out a little bit as they do the desperate defense. Zuyu with lots of lightning. Lupin needs to be very careful where he stands. Good stun by Win, potentially saving Lupin's life here. If they turn back around, Zuyu dropping good damage. Barely see into the backline. He's got the Tormented Souls, not got the Tormented Souls, remember. It's the last rights. The Twilight Green for the attempt to turn around does not get too much done as CE move back forward. Something stands. Everyone gets kind of knocked out of it by the concussion mine. This fort will die, but
is it though?
Oh, maybe it doesn't. Nice save, CE. The fort survives.
That move by Win, by the way, was absolutely masterclass.
Yeah.
Interrupting both Murden and Maiev when they were about to pounce on the Chromie by dropping a predicting stun, as you said. So good. Not many players have the speed and the game sense to smell these engages, right? To smell these lockdowns. So he literally saved Lufal here, and that was crucial when it came to saving the fort as well.
Zuyu getting 1v1 by Melody C, but it's not enough. The Planet Cracker, decent damage. Win just wades through it. He needs to disengage. Zuyu almost survives, but Melody C might drop in exchange. The root is there to zone him out. Junkrat grenades coming in, but the rest of SPT have shown up, and as such, well, Alphael is out of there.
Yeah. Clutch play after clutch play. Fantastically done here by both CE and SPT. Zuyu almost lived here, but due to the way that Malthael built his talents, by the way, he is dealing more damage with his Q whenever it lands on a singular target. And that's exactly what happened here. He was dueling Thrall for the most time, and as such, the healing by Malfurion came too late and couldn't do enough anymore. Alufal, careful here. Misaka, they're all... like, they're aggressive all the time, SPT, that is. They're trying to make those picks happen every single time.
Riptire, but Avatar just in time for Misaka. Keeps him alive. Full retreat coming out here as CE are looking for something, but at this point, SPT are already out.
Yeah, trading the Riptire for a Murden Avatar, I think, is a good trade for the Junkrat altogether, because now, all of a sudden, Misaka's engaging and team fight initiating potential has been crippled quite a bit. He's going to have to play much more carefully now. One combo by Garrosh, one root follow-up, and maybe the Chromie and Thrall burst, and he's going to be a goner.
Chromie putting down the time traps very close to where she is, keeping herself safe that way. Zuyu sits in position as well, wins another position at KTY. Concussion Mine very much grouped up consistent team fights. Even with the fact that SPT are winning the majority of the fights, it's still so even in XP. Level 13, almost available for both teams. Win looks for a target. Can't find one initially, has to back up a bit.
Nice to get. Someone can find the grip, though, and once again we see a similar story unfold with Malthael in the top and the bottom lane all by himself. Can CE use that numbers advantage, though? Zuyu gets tossed to safety. One more helps the other.
That's going to be the channel already acquired by SPT as CE look for their opportunity to re-engage here. Moving back, Malthael, though, in position for this wraparound to try and punish this. Maya being very patient. Burrett is the target. He gets deleted here. Very nice. But CE, they can't afford to mess around here. There's the Sundering. They finally move on to the point. Twilight Dream! Maev is down. Malthael has peaced out. He wants none of this. And CE pick up the double kill and move straight to the boss. Slash bot lane. Bot lane it is.
Nothing can stop death.
There we go.
Other the fact that two of his allies just died, and he would rather back off. But
nothing can stop death, but you can certainly deter me.
So well done once again, though. We can't praise enough the flawless execution of all these heroic abilities. The Sundering, the Root, the Twilight Dream, and then as a finishing blow, all the remaining damage. So well done. Wind finds another one in ZZA. Stukov is a good target. Silence goes through. Chromie lands her abilities, though. Is it going to be enough? Not for now. Zuyu lives, and CE is on a warpath. They're marching forward, taking one shot after another. This is a constant back and forth. And Soap, if it weren't for Soap on that Malthael, by the way, Look at his mount speed all the time, cruising from top to bottom, bottom to top. This time, though, however, he wasn't fast enough. And here comes the first full Zerg wave in favor of CE.
What can they do with this? All forts are available. Planet Cracker on the Zerg wave. I love it. As we see a huge amount of damage done to all of the Ultralisks at minimum. Luckily, the Guardians a little bit too high, it seems, in terms of targeting for the laser. As top 4 is absolutely destroyed. And here comes the rest of CE, though. Only Junkrat, once again, not with them. He is busy clearing out bot lane.
Keep in mind, though, there's only 4 players available for CE right now because Junkrat still had to take this wave seriously. The bottom lane had already been weakened before, so they needed someone to defend the 50% Zerg wave. And Junkrat, of course, with all of his AoE of damage, is exactly the right person to send over there. But CE already, the damage has been done. They continue to make their experience lead grow. Of course, with Junkrat defending here, you could also take care of normal minions, which provide experience. So already, we can also see 54 stacks onto Chromie. I think he only needs 6 more to summon the Sand Clone.
That Sand Clone going to be a lot of extra damage once these team fights start rolling around. And of course, more consistent damage onto Phoenix is always better. Keep that shield off. And the same with Muradin. Stop him from regenning. If you hit them, they do not regen. And that is the idea here. Muradin already on 20 stacks of his Perfect Storm here, so lots of extra damage from him. Junkrat, taste for explosives. It's like one of the hardest talents to fully stack in the game. It's pretty fine that he doesn't have that many.
Yeah, and only one stack for the last rites up to this point, so the cooldown is almost unchanged. Still, look at SPT, by the way. They're trying to purposely stall the minion waves. Never mind, here we go.
Silence is good. Last right instantly blocked by the timeout. Riptide is good. Wind staying alive. Fire going down to the huge Planet Cracker, but it's not enough to kill off Garrosh. Wind finally will be taken out. No, he's still alive.
No way.
Huge
Wind, you monster.
Back to an OQ. The turnaround is great with Malthael down. Wind still won't fall. His consistent shields. Twilight Dream is godlike. And CE full team wipe. Wind, you're a monster.
The ultimate survivor has appeared. It is Wind stacking and tanking through all that damage. The shielding, the healing. Look at that again. It was a perfect engage with the Warden's Cage here. Locking down 2 people. There goes the silence. The timeout actually blocks the last rites. But now, look at Wind. It is his time to shine. Getting brought low once. The regrowth is still on him. There goes a Malfurion heal. Then his self-heal. Then the shielding after the stun on Q. Fantastic. And here, SPT, they're hot. They're warm. They want him dead by any means necessary, but it is their demise. It is their doom eventually.
I think Wind would have died there if he hadn't actually just walked, might have had him walked away from him. Shield wouldn't have come down, but either way, the full team wipe boss level 16 available. CE are pushing in.
All right, you don't want to focus the Garrosh if you're not certain you can take him down. Look at the concussion mine, the mayhem as well. Phoenix out of position, gets taunted again. Wait, stop making those plays, please. That is not allowed.
Soaks the target here, chase down. Zuyu gets it with the follow-through Wind Fury as they move in for the first keep of the game. And, well, Malthael's not here. This is a 2 versus 5 defense here. This is only going to result in a keep going down with a Goliath camp and the core. It might be it, and they might go for the core here.
The Goliaths, the Archangel boss, everything is pushing here, and that is the first keep to fall. 17 seconds, Tetra, on Maiev until she's back.
They turn it around. Alufal is pushed into the backline. Merlisi not hit by the Sandblast. Wind is going down. The boss at half health as they turn onto Misaka, and Misaka falls. This could be it. Down he goes. Malthael is back. The damage output is being dropped as the core begins to be whittled down. A nice Warden's Cage gets to Planet Cracker for the turnaround. 365, huge amount of damage, but stays alive. The Silent Brute is turning the fight as Merlisi dropping the keeping alive, trying to turn this good last right to keep them in this game, but down goes the Malthael. 2 versus 4 left. Can Phoenix save this? No, he
40.
can't. That is GG, and CE are going to the mid-season brawl.
Wow, that was all they needed. This 1 point that they earned through winning this first map was all they needed to basically guarantee their ticket to mid-season brawl. They can no longer be caught by anyone, even if they drop down to 2nd place in the playoffs, which is a possibility, of course. They will still go there. So CE, that was the most important game in their career in 2018, and they played it so well on Braxis after getting ganked and getting killed over and over again in the early stages of the game. They got their act together. They regrouped, reunited, rallied, and came back in spectacular fashion. And if there was any other MVP other than Win Tetra, I'm going to call China.
Yeah, yeah. International rates going to be expensive.
I don't care.
Hello,
I'm going to
Mr.
use
Premier. Mr. Premier, we'd like to make a complaint.
No, in all honesty, though, that was Wind. Almost. I normally don't say this very often, but as we all know, Heroes of the Storm is a team game, and but him surviving, him anticipating and reading the enemy team like an open book was just marvelous. Not necessarily just when he was surviving until the end of time there at the bottom lane, but also when he was saving the fort by stunning Maiev and Murden, who were actively jumping in on a Lufel that could have been a safe kill, that they would have lost the fort, the Zergs would have kept on pushing, but him predicting every single move made it all happen for CE. What a guy.
That was crazy. And by the looks of the chat, looks like the painters were able to get a cameo in at the end there, or was that my mic doing something?
Oh, the painters are, you know, they're basically cheering in their own way for Wind. I'm pretty sure they're peeking through my windows at some point and
via drills.
Drill it up.
Oh, dear. Either way, CE, huge congratulations. They will be going to mid-season brawl along with Dignitas and Fnatic, the current teams that have already qualified and are decided. But, like you said, far from over yet. They, for starters, still have to, at this point, demoralize SPT by taking them down in the 2-0. And if they do get the 2-0, then the 1 will be ahead of SPT moving into the final day.
Which is absolutely